Welcome back to another Gale Bears Repairs. Today we're going to change the oil and filter on this 2017 Renault Megane. It's a Megane 4 and it's got the 1.6 turbo diesel engine fitted. This is going to be part one of a 4-part series on how to service this car. Right, let's get on with it. Right, so the first job when we're changing the oil is to get underneath the front of the car, and it's to undo this belly pan here. So there's a ring of bolts around the outside of it, this fibre tray here. So we'll undo them now and that'll expose the sump. 10mm socket, it's a 10mm spanner, and there's seven of them around the outside. So we'll get to undoing them now. I think if it's in shot, yes, it's in shot up there. I'd recommend you this one is just nipped and it's pinching the panel. So I would recommend you just slacken that one off. You don't have to come out. Yeah, it's released it now. So I've undone all those, took that out, and there's a couple of little plastic poppers, one there and one on the other side. So we'll just force them out, just to get it to pop down. And then we feed it out of that bumper at the front. Right, so to give you an idea of what to expect underneath the car, this is the sump for the engine, for the oil. There's the sump plug. You will require a specialist tool. This is not your normal stuff that you would have in your toolkit. That's an 8mm. It's an 8mm square drive, look. So you will require an 8mm square drive. And then to drain the oil. And then up here is the oil filter housing, staring right at you. It's beautiful. We're on a 27mm socket. That's a biggie. You're going to need a 27mm socket to go on there. Don't buy a 28mm, only use a 27, because or else you're going to round it off. It's only a plastic housing and you will round it. Right, I'll put you on a tripod now. We'll drop the oil and then we'll drop the filter. Right, so we've got the sump with that 8mm square drive. I'll crack him off. And then we'll get the washing up both and we'll catch him. Get ready for the money shot. Oh yeah, there it is. Right, so we got the sump plug out. There's no nasties on it, no furring, no metallic particles. So we're all good there. We'll give him a wipe down and we'll get a new copper washer on it. Right, so we get our new washer. We've cleaned the plug. Get our new washer on there. And then we'll get him back up in and we'll do him up there. A firm nip on this. You don't want to over tighten this, but you certainly don't want it to come undone. So good firm nip on the sump plug. Essential part now, we give this a clean down because we want to check for leaks afterwards. So just a bit of brake cleaner. So we spray the brake cleaner on so it's nice and clean for when we check for leaks. So we want to make sure that there's no new oil on there. Right, we'll do the filter now. So the next job is to get this oil filter housing undone. It's a 27mm. Make sure you use a 27mm, don't use a 28. So we'll get him on there and we'll crack him off. He's up tight. And then we spin him out. And then we get ready to catch the filter and the housing and whatever oil comes out. There we go. So it's got a paper element filter, as you can see there. I'll drain this, we'll get it up, I'll clean it up, we'll get it up on a bench and I'll show you what's involved. Right, so we're going to change the filter element across now out of the housing. This is the filter I'm using. It's a Bosch P7125 and this is for a 1.6 diesel engine on a 2017 Renault Megane. So here's the filter. We get the old one out of the housing, just pull him out. Looks the same each end, doesn't look any different. And just give it all a clean down, give it all a wipe. I'll cut back when I've done that because it's a bit boring. Right, so I've cleaned the housing. The filter seems to be the same both ends. It's the same bore. So then we take out the O-ring. There's a new O-ring provided with the new filter. We take him out, hook him out of there, and the new O-ring just goes in that groove there. I'll put that on now. Roll him down. Don't use a screwdriver on this at all because you'll nick the seal. Just roll him down in and just make sure that he's not twisted. So you want to make sure that he's sat nice and square. Yeah, he's sat in there nice. And then we'll just get a bit of engine oil and we'll just smear it around that seal so it doesn't pick up, so it doesn't drag when it's going into the housing. That's all we need to do there. And then we get our new filter, and that's basic. Just push it in. There's like a spigot in there that it presses onto. So you just get the filter, press it on. There he goes. You hear him clip in place. And that's it. He's ready to go in. Just going to smear a bit around there. Smear a little bit of oil. Right, it's ready to refit. The filter housing's had a good wipe around. I've examined it, there's no cracks or anything, it's in good condition. And then all we do is get this filter, the seal there, we just put him up in. And we just spin him up. And we do him up with the 27. This is a plastic housing. You don't want to over tighten this. You don't want to force this. So you just want to give it a firm nip. I'm not going any tighter than that. That feels fine to me. And then we give it a spray down with some brake cleaner. Give it a good swamp with a brake cleaner. So when we start up, if it gets wet, we know it's relating to a leak that we've created. The oil we're going to put in this 1.6 diesel engine is a 530. It's fully synthetic 530 oil. We're just going to chuck that in now. Right, so we take off the oil filler cap. And we stick in our funnel, our clean funnel. I'm going to gauge how much I'm putting in. So I'll start off with 2 litres so we can see how much this car takes. I'll put you on time lapse and we'll cut to when I'm finished filling it up. Right, so 5 litres has gone in. We'll give him a dip and we'll see what we've got. Yeah, we're 3/4 of the way up the dipstick. So on this one here, pretty basic. It's the line, the groove there and the groove there. So that groove is minimum and that groove is the max. We're going to start him up. We're going to run him, put the cap on. So we've now put 5 litres of oil in this engine. It's 3/4 of the way on the dipstick. So we're now going to start the engine up, get the oil to circulate around all the galleries, get in everywhere. And most importantly, it's going to prime up that new oil filter. That new oil filter is a paper element filter. It'll absorb the oil like a sponge. It'll blot it up. So we'll run it for 5 minutes. We'll recheck the oil. It'll probably be under half by the time we've finished here. So we start him, give him a run, and then I'll cut back to topping the oil back up. Right, so it's been running for a while now. We'll re-dip the oil. Yes, he's on, you can see there, he's below half. So there's the maximum mark there, that notch. You see that notch? And he is just slightly below half. So we'll have to add some oil. Right, so I'm on my final dip now. I don't know if you can see because it's new oil, but just over 3/4. I like it 3/4 to max, so I'm going to leave it at that. That was a lot of oil. I've put in a total there of 6.1 litres. So that's quite a lot of oil in this engine. So be aware of that when you're going to buy it. You won't be able to just buy a 5-litre tub. Right, we'll put the lid on. We'll get him up to temperature and recheck the oil last time, but we'll recheck the oil last time, but I won't film that. We'll get down underneath, check for leaks while it's running, and then we'll move on to the next job. I don't know if you can hear me, I'm under the car checking for leaks. Around that filter housing, nothing, it's bone dry. The sump plug is the same, nice and dry. So we can now fit the belly pan back on the underside of the vehicle and move on to the next job. That's the oil and filter done on this 2017 Renault Megane. Very simple task really. All done from underneath. The filter housing comes down from underneath and the sump plug. The only thing that you will require is a 8mm square drive. That's the only specialist tool you'll require for this job really. If you click on the link up here now, should be appearing here. It's part 2 in the series, which is replacing the air filter on this same car. So there should be a link here now. If you found this useful and it's been informative for you today, could you please like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you next time.